Chairs. We all have them. Recently, I found myself sitting in a chair, and while I was sitting in this chair, I was on a research high. While I was on this research high, I stumbled upon 2 questions that became 20 questions that broke down to 1. What is the most philosophical art? Hi dilly ho, this is an intro. There's layers to this question, as there are layers to lots of things, so let's start, breaking them down. Starting with the main definitions of what is art and what is philosophy. Art, refers to creative skill and expression, imagination. There's a lot of branches to art, so for convenience sake, let's just refer to the visual medium of painting and drawing, artwork. Philosophy, much like art, actually branches out into many mediums. It's the study of the nature of knowledge, reality, existence, thoughts and views and morals and whatnot. To keep it simple, I'll be referring to philosophy as the vague whole. Now that we've got our definitions out of the way, let's jump into the time lapse. I did an art piece for this video, and originally this video was just going to be me talking about philosophy and old-timey art, but it turned into a time lapse, a speed draw, because I wasn't gonna let this art piece become the background of a video. I wanted it, because I spent so many hours on this, I wanted it to be more important. Let's start with the Enlightenment period. During this time, philosophers and artists' views began shifting about the world. I think people's views are always shifting, but especially during this time. For artists, it was this need to understand what they were looking at, a need to no longer just translate what the eye saw, but attempt to speak to it, to challenge it, to truly understand it. And with this, a progression of the understanding of aesthetics moved from fine arts to something more abstract. And with this, also, the helpful savant Immanuel Kant chimed in. It's a stretch, but anything's better than the impossible aunt, Immanuel Kant. Kant says that beautiful art evoked universal pleasure rather than personal interest, and I just like that quote for a reason that it also reminds me of another quote from a Russian expressionist artist, Wassily Kandinsky. He believed that art shouldn't be for the sake of art, instead art for the sake of understanding. It just reminds me of what Kant said with art being more than art, if that makes sense. Art isn't a selfishness, it's external kind of, but also internal. For Kandinsky, he didn't just want to depict recognizable objects. He wanted to try to create, the emotion he felt when consuming music with the abstract language of jazz that he listened to, where it could evoke deep emotions and general ideas. And all in all, what I'm saying here is philosophy and abstract art have a lot in common with how abstract arts go beyond the canvas, much like how philosophy goes beyond our physical reality. The two just have so much in common, They're both practices, they're both reflections of reality through human perspective, and at the base of both of them is truth and expression. It's mental. What's fascinating about these similarities also echoes into their differences, with philosophy getting us closer to reality while abstract art strays away from it. So this is almost the answer to our question, what is the most philosophical form of art? To figure that out fully, let's talk about Disco Elysium. To quickly summarize what Disco Elysium is, it's a video game where you play as this drunken detective who's solving a murder in the slum of a city. While he does this, he thinks about his existence, and he goes around and he just talks to people who all have their different ideologies and philosophies, and you can go so deep into this game, even to the point a character can call you the philosopher detective.
A sort of philosopher detective.
There's a mechanic in the game called a thought cabinet, and this is where your thoughts are stored. You'll never guess, that's crazy. And you can go in depth about your consciousness and your ideas and stuff. The art in the video game really sells the narrative, actually. You'll have thoughts, and this beautiful man's voice will read the thoughts and solutions. Chef's kiss to that voice. Just so good.
Jamais vu derealization. Jamais vu, the opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
And once you finish this thought, you'll have, you earn new skills, or, you advance in some way, new dialogue, but most importantly, you get an illustration that represents your thought process and your problem solving. It's this glimpse into this detective's psyche. It's twisted and beautiful and rough, and there's just so much anguish and confusion and expression in it. And once you take a step back, you notice that this piece connects to a bunch of other pieces, a bunch of other thoughts, and it just reveals this beautiful display of this man's naked mind. It's you know what you're looking at, but none of it's realistic. It's just so crazy. And I think that this is it. This is the most philosophical form of art, or just philosophical piece of art I can find. To me, at least. It's also very important because, again, to me, I think that it shows that art can translate philosophy, like how speaking can and writing can. It can work as a language to convey that, So I guess the answer to the question is, what is the most philosophical form of art? I think it's this art style of expressionism. And now I can talk about what I'm drawing. I am drawing my own thought cabinet, which is full of things. I put Fozzie Bear in there because I can. I'm not going to explain a lot of this stuff because it's me. It's personal. Basically, everything in there is just stuff that's helped shape the way I view the world and the stuff I think. So that's fun. Fozzie Bear's tie goes throughout everything in this drawing because I think the world is a silly, goofy place, and I thought it'd be silly, goofy to put a tie throughout all of my conscience. Little pink polka dotted tie. Yeah. So that's fun. I put the monkey in because I like monkeys. I like drawing monkeys. Monkeys are the easiest thing for me to draw. I don't know why. They just are. It just comes natural to me. I don't know. It's weird. Here I'm I don't do male anatomy, which is one of the reasons why a pill is covering up that area, because no, I will not. Yeah, I had to make a bunch of faces and take selfies so I could get different emotions on my face. All of these little characters are me. Here's my dog, because I love my dog. I'm thinking of ways to fill the space because I have ideas of the main stuff I want in there that's not too revealing, but yeah, I kind of went crazy with this, I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Babies in fetal positions, weird shit. They look really bizarre. Like, I was looking at references and they just look so, like, they look like deformed puzzle pieces, It was bizarre to look that up. Oh, and this duck I'm drawing right now, that's, there's this museum that had this, like, water fountain in the back, and it had this sculpture that I don't know why nobody talks about it, but it's really bizarre because it looks like a bunch of babies strangling a goose. So, I included that. Those little people are just, little men inside my head. They're real, but shout out to them. Here I'm starting the colors. I don't know how to talk over speed draws. I feel like I should just let music play, but at the same time, I had so much to say during this video that I skipped past a lot of it. And I did a lot of editing for this that nobody wants to hear about that. Right now we're doing art. I wanted to do the thing where you block in shadows with, like, I don't remember the term, right now. It's like a value study where you do black and white instead of colors so you can really get the lighting right. But this is the only time I actually do that properly. The rest of the drawing, I don't use this strategy correctly at all. But basically just fill in your shadows to get like where the light hits, and then you put colors on top. Funnily enough, I think that this is my favorite part of the whole piece in the end, is this me standing staring at a paintbrush. I look like a little baby because I am a little baby. There's Fozzie Bear. Waka waka, eh? You know, Fozzie Bear. My brother brought up a great point that I'm gonna claim I did on purpose with this boat, is that the mast isn't even, or the boomstick, whatever, isn't even connected to a sail. And the way the sails are set up, it looks like the boat's just gonna go in circles. And that's poetic, probably, right? Because circles, it goes in circles, it doesn't go anywhere. It actually ended up working out really well for me, because it's just this stuck feeling. Monkey! I worked on this heart a lot. Also, yeah, that's my best friend as a horse, stabbing me in the heart. She's actually, she wouldn't actually stab me in the heart. Love ya. But, the reason I have it like that is because I think I had a hole in my heart. I had a heart problem for a really long time. It's gotten better, but I had that thing, what is it? Heart murmur, arrhythmia, I don't know. But I had a small hole in my heart, and I don't know if I still do, but I was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if she was stabbing me, but she was also a horse? I have a normal mind. For sure. As I was coloring this face in, I realized that the face, it's my face, but it also looks like, the guy from Blacklist. I don't remember his name, the actor. I'll just put his face on screen. But I realized that it looks like him, and I was like, whoa! Coloring in this child on this duck was impossible, almost. I did so many attempts. I think I cut them out, but it was hard. I also, there's a lot of like hidden little art pieces also hidden in this. With the two hands, like the baby hand, I'll point it out. I use the tie in the background also to help tie in the fact that they're related, but the two hands reaching for each other, it's kind of like that painting of God and Adam, I think. The brain, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of like that. It's a reference to that, but also not a reference to that. Ain't that something? Oh, I forgot to fix that. Yeah, that woman in the top with the noose for a head. It is a noose, but it's hard to tell in the final also. But, you know, little details. It's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. I wanted to add shadows? I wanted to add shadows to make sure everything pops a bit. But even here, it's not the final. I ended up moving it to my iPad to add finishing touches and really make it look good and recognizable, and you know, final pieces, final touch-ups. So I added, you know, I wanted to add texture and gradient maps, and gradient maps just change the colors so it's more matchy. Not matchy, so it's matches more. It's the moral of the story. I do a lot of fixing of the faces, little details and stuff, and yeah, and then it's finished. Again, this took me the longest. I wish I had a timer because I actually can't see how long it took me. All I know is it took me like hours, probably over 9 hours. 9 hours. My voice cracked there. Yeah, it took me a while. Do I love it? I don't know if I love it, but I think I'm just being harsh on myself. I do like it a lot though. But yeah, here's my little thought cabinet. I hope this video did good. I hope it did good. Do I have an outro? I feel like I've asked myself this before. Toodaloo. Hasta la pizza? Eh? Pasta la vista. Pasta la pizza.